let me just be transparent. I put somebody as father that couldn't be father because they didn't have the tools to be a father. And so the tools, so what they did was, because I put them in position and they can fulfill the position, they end up hurting me. They didn't have to be father. I made them father. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That was my fault. And that was a hard pill to swallow. But God said, but I still love you in this, and I can heal you from it. Wow. Because in life, there are going to be times that you get hurt.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
It may be hurt by somebody else, or you might. We say, well, I ain't gonna deal with people, so but then you gonna hurt your own self. But what I love about God is, even when we get hurt, He has power to heal every hurt if we expose it to Him. If we decide, you know what, I don't want to be hurt no more. I refuse to walk around with this baggage of hurt. Erykah Badu said, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back. Carrying all those bags like that. Ain't nobody ever told you. All you had to do is be true. Be true. Be true is you. Or something like that. You understand? In other words, all you gotta do is be honest enough and drop them bags.
That's right.
I gotta get to my sermon. I gotta get to the text. But honestly, this has everything to do with if you face it. Because some of us are not honestly facing stuff.
That's good.
You are blaming everybody else for how you're living, and at some point, yeah, what they did was awful. But at some point, you gotta let that go. That man left you 10 years ago. He married somebody else. And you still won't get a relationship because you talk about what he did. He ain't studying you. Let it go. And if you can't let it go, at least begin to want to let it go. There are things we encountered in our relationship, and we had to decide, you know what? We just gonna go to the healing part. Because we making the decision to stay here with one another. So if we're gonna stay with one another, then ain't no need us standing there being upset. So let's decide. And I know people think, well, I don't know what he did. Well, sometimes it's stuff that she did. Because we both got to decide, you know what, I ain't going to be mad about this. I'm not going to, you know, I see, one thing I had to learn was, my wife was, at one point, was always late. Every Sunday morning, we had a fight because I'm like, come on, let's go to church. And we would leave church, leave the house mad, because now she mad because I done rushed her. I decided, you know what? I ain't gonna be mad about this no more.
It's not worth it.
Because I didn't holler, I didn't threw stuff, you know, and now I gotta apologize for my behavior. So you know what? I ain't gonna be mad no more. I'm just gonna pray. You know what I'm saying? You decide. And truth be told, there are things that she had to decide. You know what, Raymond? I'm deciding not to let this offend me. That's what you do when you're in a relationship with people. Marriage, brother, sister, when you're in a relationship, you decide how this is going to go. All right, so real quick to the text. Y'all all right? So David, when you consider the circumstances, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He decided to send everybody else to war, and when all other kings was at war, he decided, I'm going to stay home. Well, if all the kings are at war, then king, you need to have your hind parts in the war. So he made the decision to stay at home. And then in the cool of the night, he made the decision, I'm going to walk across the roof and just survey my kingdom. Now, people have made conjecture that Bathsheba knew that he was up there walking, and so she went, but we have no proof of that. What we see is what David did. He saw her minding her own business. Now, it's one thing to see something, but it's another thing to look. Because a whole lot of us see stuff, but you ain't got to look. I can't tell you how many times I done got hit because I was looking. Something wrong with your eyes? What you talking about? Keep on looking. He looked too long. And then he didn't just start looking, he started asking the question, who is that? And see, his lust got him in trouble. Because he was tempted, but he was drawn away and he was enticed. Then he sent messages, go see who she is.
Sure he is. Yeah.
And can I tell you, most times, when folk get caught doing something, it ain't the first time. This might be a two-part lesson. Listen, if you done got caught, it ain't because God didn't warn you. When you are a believer, God sends clues and signals. You need to stop this. You know, this ain't good for you.
He does. He gives you a warning.
God say, now I'm gonna let you get by. I'm gonna cover you this time. But if you just won't stop, I love you so much, I'm gonna pull the cover off because I don't want you to be bound by this. So if you getting caught is gonna make you stop, then I'm gonna let you get caught and deal with the consequences of yourself being caught. Hello, somebody. That's how the devil will entice you. He'll draw you in because he'll make you think that you're okay by doing this and that you're untouchable. But if the Lord allows you to be exposed, it ain't the first time. But he loves you enough to let you be exposed because he said, you know what? If you don't stop, you're gonna destroy what I put in you. You're gonna destroy you. You're gonna destroy everything you're trying to build. So let me expose you. So I don't pretend to believe it was the first time, but he got caught this time because you know, he didn't just sleep with the woman. He slept with her and got her pregnant. And then he didn't just get her pregnant. Now he tried to hide his sin. He said, tell you what we're gonna do. Bring Uriah, her husband, off the front line. And I'm gonna just bring him for a reason. And I'm gonna send him down. So I'm gonna send him down to his house. And because you know he ain't seen his wife in a minute, so he'll go down to his wife in his house, he'll sleep with her, and he'll think it's his baby.
Come on.
What he didn't count on was that the fact that Uriah was a man of integrity. So Uriah said, man, I can't go down and sleep with my wife and sleep in the house with my men that I'm in battle, sleeping in tents. So I'm gonna sleep at the foot of the palace. So it's time for me to go again. And look how the plot thickens. David said, you know, he didn't go down there? Okay. All right, tell you what we're gonna do. Tell him to come back, tell him to come holler at me. David got the man drunk. Because when you get drunk, you just do, you follow your normal pattern. So surely if I get him drunk, I'm gonna tell you he'll go home and sleep with his wife. Because drinking some of y'all don't know nothing about that, but some of y'all do. When you get drunk,
Tell the truth.
Jamie Foxx said, blame it on the alcohol. But then it worked. He stayed because he was a man of integrity. So David, let me speak this along. He came with this scheme and had the man killed in battle by the enemy. He didn't kill him, but he had the enemy killed him. He put him in position to be killed. And some people are so full of the devil that they'll kill somebody and try to justify. Well, I never killed nobody, no, but you ruined their reputation.
That's good.
You know what? Real talk. Let me. Some of us are ready to believe a lie than the truth. Somebody said something to me about someone that's a friend of ours or whatever. And I said, you know, I don't know them like that. But they said this about you. I said, you know, I don't believe they would say that. Now, I know them, but I don't believe that they would say that. There was a lie going around the city that Bishop Hogan had to bail me out of jail because the police came to my house because I was beating my wife. And it was so juicy that it was going around. It got all the way down to Columbus, Georgia. Because somebody from Columbus called to Atlanta, to one of the members, and said, girl, I heard that your pastor was bailed out of jail because he had beat his wife. And she was like, what? And she called the pastor, did you, And she was calling me because she was saying, I'm on my way to your house to get me. Because you ain't going to be whooping on Tracy. I said, now you know. But people will believe the lie and discount everything else because the lie sounds so good. And even after First Lady said it straight, I know I'm taking too long with this, said it straight, folks still said he made her say it. That's because some folk is messy. And you can't, I told you earlier, you can't chase the lie. Just outlive the lie. And so once they got to know us, it's like, oh, that man ain't touched that woman. Because she don't play that. I already know. I thought about it, I thought, boy, if I hit this woman, I ain't gonna survive this. All right, no, I know about that thing. I did think it one time. Because remember that time you hit me first? Now she didn't hit me. But that don't count. Love you, girl. Oh, you shouldn't have did it. David tried to come up and sin. He creates plots. And the plot gets progressively worse, because if you tell one lie, you got to tell two. If you tell one lie, you got to keep lying to cover up the lie you told before. So sometimes it's just best to be honest. When you get caught, just tell the truth. Well, I didn't want you to be hurt. I'm hurt anyway. Yo, what you did hurt me. So just tell the truth, and let's hopefully get to the healing part.
Right. Right.
But the plot got progressively worse, and because God loved David, he sent a prophet to David.
Come on here.
That's kind of where our story picks up at.
Yeah. All right, sir. Yeah.
We often think that we've gotten away with stuff because nobody sees us. But see, you're worried about the wrong individual, because the Bible says that the eyes of the Lord in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And when you are on the low doing evil, I might not see it, but God sees it. David said, where can I go from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in hell, you are there. If I take up the wings of the morning and dwell in the other parts of the sea, thy hand shall find me. You can't go nowhere where God don't see. I don't care how dark the room is, God is watching. I don't care how hard you try to cover everything up, God sees. You can fool some of the people, some of the time, and all the people, some of the time, but you can't fool God ever. You know, some things is a shock to us, but it's never a shock to God.
That's right.
Right.
So Nathan approached David very subtly.
Yes.
I'm going to pause right there real quickly. You got to be careful how you approach leadership.
Come on.
Say
You got to be very, very careful how you handle God's set people. Some of us can be too casual with the men and women that God's put in our life. And I know y'all say, well, he put his pants on just like me. He might do. But still, he's God's man or he's God's woman. She's God's woman. And even when they're wrong, Saul, you got to keep your hand in your mouth off the man and woman of God. If you're not authorized to bring correction, then you need to pray. You've heard rumors, but they're just rumors. You don't know if it's true because you weren't there. And even if the rumor was true, if you're not authorized to bring correction, and, you know, and there's some people you've heard rumors on, but God is still using them. How do you explain it? I have no idea. But that's God, and you can't tell God how to do God's business. God will use who he wants to use. You read the story where the man said, well, didn't I heal the sick and didn't I feed the hungry? Didn't I visit the prison? God said, yeah, but I never knew you. So he'll use your gift and he'll fire you. And you think you're being used by God, and you are, but he don't know you. Because when you know God and God knows you, there's some things you just won't do. But if you're not authorized to bring correction, then you need to pray for him. Because what you don't want to do is bring yourself under judgment because you put your mouth on God's man or God's woman. Hello? So Nathan approached David skillfully, and he gave David this illustration. And Nathan was catching David off guard and could study the king's response and better know what to do next. There's sometimes you got to wait till people respond. He skillfully told him about the man with the one sheep versus the man with the whole herd. He skillfully brought it to him, and since David had been a shepherd himself, he knew that he would pay close attention to a story about theft of an innocent lamb, and as the king, he would be obligated to make sure poor families were given justice.
Yes, sir.
But what David didn't realize was, man, this story is about you. And when he passed judgment, Nathan said, man, I'm talking about you, my paraphrase. And he said, you are the man. And he didn't just tell him that you're the man, but he gave him every detail. You got that girl pregnant. You had her husband killed. And now God wants to deal with you. And David could have made all kinds of excuses why it happened. He could have been like Adam and said, God, the woman you gave me made me do it. But what David did was he faced it and said, you know what? I have sinned against not Uriah, but I sinned against God. And in his acknowledgement that I sinned against our relationship with God, see, all God wants you to do is be honest. If you can't be honest with nobody else, be honest with God. The church has taught many of us how to hide and how to cover. But if you cover your sin, you won't prosper. You got to face it. You got to face your proclivity. Right. There's some things that you've done we can't have it. We can't announce in the testimony service. And I'm not telling you to stand up and make an announcement. I ain't what I'm saying. What I am saying is tell God and be honest. You know, there's some things some of us got to tell spiritual leadership, right? Because spiritual leadership holds you accountable. Right. That's good right there. So and I think I've had a track record in this church that if y'all tell me something, you don't hear it again. Right. Unless you do it egregiously in public, and I gotta correct you in public. But for the most part, you don't hear nothing else about it again. Now you might feel like, who he preaching about me? Child, don't be preaching about you. I don't even know when some of y'all gonna come to church. So if I'm preaching something that hits you, then that's God trying to help you get yourself together. I think by now I've proven to you that I really do love y'all, even when some of y'all treat me how you treat me. When I tell y'all hurt me this week by not showing up to the redemption conference and our church was full of visitors, I was embarrassed and I was hurt. And all of us want to say, well, I got an excuse why I didn't do. Shame on you, because you knew it was coming. So even though you treat me how you treat me, I still love you. I hope the tape is running for those that will be watching this soon, because I want all Redeeming Word members to know when you don't come to church, when I ask you to come, and we don't have that much church. So if I'm having something and people are coming, and it ain't just we having something and people come, them folks is happy to be with us. And it's rude to invite people to your house and you don't show up. But even though you treat me like that, I still pray for you. I still cover you. Because the Lord sent you here, and the Lord sent you here because He knew I had the capacity to cover. And some of y'all think, well, Pastor, I won't worry you. Listen, if you remember this church, it's not worrying me, I'm pastoring you. I can cover you. That's what good pastors do.
Yeah, right. That's right.
So, he said, you the one. David said, I sinned. I did it. And in his admission, that really was his repentance. He said, I did it. I messed up. And in that confidence, and then David said, you're not going to die. God's going to cover you. If you face it, God will fix it. Don't blame everybody and everything else for why you don't do what you're supposed to do. I'm a black man in a white man's world, but there's a God whose hand is not short that he cannot save, neither is his ear heavy that he cannot hear. Get up, black man, and handle your business. Get up, black man, and take care of your children. Face your shortcomings. Face your problems. Face those things that you allow to hold you back. Face it and let God fix it. I'm a woman in a man's world. But there's a God who is touched by the feelings of our infirmity. In other words, what affects you affects him. Face your fears. Face your emotions. Face that voice that tells you that you can't make it, and face it and let God fix it. God loves you and cares about you, and if he didn't, he never would have said, cast all your cares on him. Because he cares for you. Believers, face your hurt. Face the lies. Face the fears and let God fix it. Face the mistakes. Face the anger. Face the deception and let God fix it. Face your pain. Face your embarrassment. Face your misunderstanding and let God, thank you. Face the sin. Face the selfishness. Face the self-centeredness. Face the narcissism and let the Lord fix it for you. Because he knows just what to do. Whenever you pray, let the Lord have his way and let Jesus fix it. But before he can fix it, you got to face it. I'm stopping.
Come on, sir.
We'll shout and dance tonight. You got to face it. Young and old. When you're young, you develop habits of lying. You know, so if you was a good liar when you were young, you're going to be a good liar when you get old. So if you don't want to be a liar, don't start lying now. If you did it, say, you know what, I did that. I'm sorry. It was just I'm young, and when I'm young, I'm supposed to make mistakes. You right? And so the Bible says that foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child with your young self, but the rod of correction is going to drive it out of you. There's some mistakes you're going to make when you're young. But face it, I wanted to try. Oh, you wanted to try? Okay, so now you got to deal with the consequences of you trying it, because I told you don't do that.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? Stand your feet, everybody. I'm stopping. If you want to make grown decisions, got to face grown consequences. Let's be real talk. If you want to be grown, then there are grown consequences. So in my house, you want to make a grown decision, then you have to deal with the consequences. As soon as I find out